I think they say crisis creates opportunity, and that's what it was for us. The crisis of kids being inconvenienced. I think you heard from one of them saying, in the midst of an exam, power goes, and then you also look at what happens at night. You can't use candles, and what you then need is something that is reliable and something that is efficient. Just last year, we paid 270,000 USD towards power. And the sad part is it kept increasing in the sense that our generators were getting older. The amount of fuel that we were using, so it became imperative that we change something. And our then idea was, let's go for solar. The cost of it, our simple calculation was, if you are paying 270 per year, we get a bank that partners with us. They are not going to ask us to pay it in 2 years. So CABs, who agreed to partner with us, they've given us a loan of about 520,000 USD, and they've given us a timeline of 4 years to pay it. But remember, the saving we are now making allows us, if we're to be squeezed, to pay it back over 2 years. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to be paying in our strides. The good thing is they were sensitive to the fact that we're a school, and the installments are once every term. There's a lot more that we feel we can do with this, besides the fact that we are generating excess, which allows us, because ZESA does not pay you money for what you push back to the grid, but they give you your credit. So we can now say, for instance, if we've got staff members who would have gone to pay, ZESA will give you units. And then if there are companies as well, that way, who are providers of service to us, we can offset with the excess power that we generate. So yeah, it's an amazing story.
Installed capacity of these solar panels is about 414 to an inverter capacity of 300 kilowatts. So when they were talking of net metering, yes, we've installed extra capacity of solar panels, and all the time, if ZESA is available, MCGS will be able to pump that extra power into the grid and be credited for that. About 720 590 watt solar panels, and then we come to our inverter room where we've got 6 by 50 kilowatt SunSync inverters, which then make up the 300 we're talking about. We've got 6 by 60 kilowatt hour batteries, which then makes it to be 360 kilowatt hour battery storage. And then we've got integration between the generator and our solar room. And as you heard people saying, there is a seamless transformation between how the system operates when there is ZESA and when there is no ZESA. We've designed our system to automatically start the generator when the batteries go low to about 20%, and then the generator kicks in, charges the batteries to about 80%, and then the batteries will take on, and then the sunshine will come and then continue charging.
At this point, I'm going to invite our board director, Mr. Leventhal, to take us on as we cut our cake, our ribbon this afternoon.
much land did we use? You obviously appreciate that. Right here, it's hostel space. There's junior school hostel that side. There's junior school hostel. Then we've got our tanks, and we already have a system which is part of hostel. And it's strategic for us to put our expensive equipment here, because then the security cover becomes ideal. And then our solar panels, we had two options. We could have used the panels to make a car parking space, but because we are spoiled for land, we have got the space within the Jurawo, which measures 150 by 80, and we have only used possibly a third of that. We initially thought the 700 panels was going to take more land, but it didn't work that way. So we are super excited that it's working in that way. The project was earmarked to be delivered in 90 days. So part of our challenge was they started in December, but because of the generous rains that we had to stop, and then we resumed effectively in March, and here we are. It's done. It's done. Part of the delays obviously were technical, in the sense that for instance, replacing the 200 kVA transformer with a 300 one was not something which solar energy could do. It needed ZESA people to do that, and we had to go through the protocols. But we are happy. We now have a certificate of generating power valid for a year, and so Emma is happy. All the parties are happy, and we are now looking forward to focusing on our core business, because our core business is not paying bills. Yes, our core business is educating kids and giving them opportunity. As you can see, even right here, we have Wi-Fi, and we have Wi-Fi in our hostels, so a kid can sit here, do research uninterrupted.
Moko, Mabo, Mabo. Right, thank you.
Jesus, we lift your name on high, your name on high. Jesus, we lift your name on high, your name on high. Be lifted high, be lifted high, be lifted high in all the earth, be lifted high.
For media and marketing, thank you very much to Mrs. Chard from Zim Papers and her team. Also thank you to The Chronicle, Central Radio, The Sun, Sunday News, H Metro, iBooth Communication and Pro Midlands Private Hospital, Wardrobe Magazine, Quedu News, 98.4 Midlands Radio, ZBC and UIFM. A huge thank you and welcome again to our MCS and MCGS staff for the incredible work that they do at our schools. But most importantly, the reason we are here, our children. This dream came to fruition because of you. So thank you and welcome again to our MCGS students. Thank you.
All protocol observed. I stand before you not just as a green energy fanatic, but on behalf of the Midlands Christian College students to express how greatly solar power has been changing our lives in school. We now have electricity for the whole day. So this allows for the smooth flow of lessons. For example, when using the projector to watch science videos and read notes from Save My Exams or Google Classroom. Most students can also finish their ICDL, that is International Computers Driver's License. A short side story. Last term we were in the middle of an online international space science Olympiad. And just as we were about to click the big red submit button, the screens just went black. Imagine we had to restart the whole exam. But now we don't have to worry about such things happening because of the solar power. In hostel, 24-hour electricity allows us to study for 24 hours a day. So even if we decide to extend our prep after the usual 2 hours in the DH, we don't have to worry about the lights going out. The hot water, oh yes, in this freezing cold season, because of the solar geysers, we never have to worry about bathing in cold water. Way better than last winter, if you ask me. Speaking of freezing cold winters, we can also enjoy the nice hot teas after prep and charge our hot water bottles to keep warm. I could go on and on about the benefits we're reaping from this innovative solar power plant. But like I said at the start, I'm a green energy fanatic, so I wouldn't want to get into the details, especially on a Friday afternoon. But otherwise, to the Board of Trustees, the school leadership, and everyone else that made this possible, we'd like to say, Siyabonga, Tinotenda, Enkosi, Kialiboga, Shie, merci beaucoup. Thank you. Yes, I had to use all these languages because we are international, at international levels after all. Above all, I'd like to thank the Almighty, Jehovah El Shaddai, Jehovah Jireh, our provider, Jehovah El Roy, the Lord who sees. Because indeed, if it wasn't for his outstretched hand upon us, none of this would have been possible. I thank you.
It is my singular honor to invite the Principal Director of MCGS and the Headmaster of MCC, Pastor Charai, to take us on. Welcome, Pastor Charai.
Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. I would start by saying shalom. This is a day when you could say one of our dreams has come true. It's a day where we again see the faithfulness of God. And for that, we are grateful. This is a solution to a problem that was slowly digging us under. This is a solution to a problem which was slowly bringing our institution to collapse in monetary terms, so that you can sort of connect with what I'm saying. For us as a school, for us as an education institution, when our power bill becomes huge, it means something is suffering. And can I say, over the past 3-4 years, we've been noticing how a significant amount of our income from fees now having to be channeled towards power. Just in 2024, we were using 4 generators in this institution. One at hostel here, one at the senior school, one at junior school, and one at the group office. And those 4 generators were needing to be maintained, were needing to be serviced, and most importantly, were needing fuel. So generator costs for 2024 alone was 32,323. The fuel we put in there, on average, we're using maybe about 400 liters of fuel a day, was 83,528. But in addition to that, we also had to pay for electricity. And that bill for 2024 was 154,682. You put those 3 figures together, generator, fuel, and electricity. Last year, we paid in excess of $250,000 US. We paid 270,533. I guess if we were selling goods which would bring in another 2 million, why would one be concerned? But because of who we are, we were not doing that. And because of who we are, we were then thinking this might not work. And I recall mentioning St. Patrick's, which has gone this route. But I must say our plant here is double the size of that of St. Patrick's. And why? One would say, Pastor, wasn't that an overkill? It's not quite because of the things that we do here. It is always a nightmare for any head of an institution, especially of school, where there's a hostel, facility, when you lose power. And obviously you lose power not because somebody chooses out of malice to switch you off, but because things happen. I think, excuse the coincidence, but yesterday, I think there was a national power system disturbance. A good number of people will know that there was loss of power generation from Kariba and Wange power stations. And what it would have meant for us here is what happens to the meals that boarders were supposed to eat, what happens to classroom activities which needed power. Allow me just to go the memory lane. Our engagement was not only with the electricity officials, but our engagement was also with the solar energy partners. And I'm glad that they are represented here. There were about 5 things that we considered. And I'm glad that all 5 are already beginning to be felt today. Number 1, scalability. We needed to come up with something that would accommodate the ever-growing power needs of our institution. We run with projects in keeping with the vision that we given by the leaders of this country, where we can produce our own food. Hence, we produce our own vegetables here. We not only produce our own vegetables here, we produce our own chickens here, we produce our own eggs here, and we also produce our own bread and confectionery here. So all those depend on power. For our kids to look smart, they need a laundry facility that works, and that also takes power. So scalability, you have to consider those things. The other aspect was suitability. We needed a commercial and robust solution able to balance the phase imbalances. Number 3, performance. We wanted a solution that would guarantee uninterrupted power upkeep to the schools and for the schools in order for them to run smoothly. I liked the factor that they also brought to the table, which has to do with quality. And our system is backed with all the necessary warranties. And I'm glad that solar energy could come up with that. And the last one, which I spoke to earlier, it's to do with economics. We have to be viable. Not only should we be viable, but we've got to fly. As a school, we are internationally accredited, and we pursue a protocol called INSPIRE. And INSPIRE is informed by a desire to prosper and to do well, and to not only inspire those that see us, but also to inspire those who are within. I'm glad that the financial viability solution has become a reality because we have what is now called net metering. We generate power, not just for our own use here, but we generate excess power. And on the touch of a button, and this is what I like most, about the digital system. I can tell you right now, because I'm monitoring the system on my phone, we are generating 227,660 watts. Our consumption is 213,033. And our batteries are at 97% full. Unfortunately, because we're not connected, excuse the general expression, we're not connected to ZESA. All the excess that we are generating right now cannot be fed to the grid. But just again to show you how successful this is at its best, just the couple of days that the net metering has started working, we've generated 1,111 is it kilowatts? Kilowatt hours. And I like that, because what it means now is we are supplying more than we require. Independence will come, not when you are just producing for yourself and your family. Let's realize when you can produce for your neighbor. I am hoping and praying that the neighborhood who are part of us will benefit from the fact that their neighbor, the school, is now generating more than they require. What was our solution? I'll give you a bit of detail on what we have here. Previously, the school had 3 transformers around campus, 2 which were 200 kVA and 1 which was 100 kVA. These 3 have now been replaced by that smallish, biggish transformer, which is now 300 kVA. And we had to part with some money for that. Bear in mind that I said we spent 270,000 last year on power. The system we now have in place cost us just over 500,000, 518. And it also comes with a 350 kVA generator, which is in the room to my left and possibly to the right of those who are facing me. What are its features? It's easily scalable. It is seamlessly integrated into existing electrical infrastructure. The generator starts automatically, and I was praying that, Lord, may it not be cloudy, because once the generator senses that power is running low, it will start on its own, and I can't stop it. And that would have been very noisy for us here. And so we are happy that even in the middle of the night, if we lose power, the generator will not need the host operand to run and start it off, but it will do that automatically. For your own information, this was the first time in the history of this school, which spans more than 46 years now, 44 years, to borrow. We have always generated money and bought and purchased. But what made sense is, if we are paying 270,000 to generate power, why not partner with somebody who can give us 500? And you already noticed that in 1 year, we'll have covered half of that. And so thank you, our Board of Trustees, represented by Mr. Levendale, who will have the honors to cut the ribbon for connecting with one scripture, because I'm a pastor. I can't leave the podium without quoting scripture. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7. And I like it when it's recorded in the King James Version, because it puts it in a very unique way. He says, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind." What I see here is not fear of challenges that we are experiencing, but what I see here is spirit of power to think, one might say to think outside the box, and also the fact that neighbors will benefit. There's also spirit of love there.
Deepest gratitude to Mr. Rewa and KEBS, our funding partner, for believing in this vision and generously supporting its implementation. Your commitment to empowering institutions like ours is sincerely appreciated. It also goes to our estate manager, who's popularly known as Mr. Nemu. I can't pronounce his full name, that's why we just call him Mr. Nemu. And the estates department for overseeing the physical work on the ground. Your hands-on management has been key to the successful execution of this project. I remember seeing him running around, making sure that everything goes around. One day I came, I think it was a weekend, and a truck from Solar Energy had stuck in the mud, and Mr. Nemu was frantic trying to get a bulldozer to pull it out of the mud over there. It had been raining in January, but he persevered. He deserves a big round of applause. Thank you very much, Mr. Nemu. We are also grateful to ZESA, and we apologize to ZESA for no longer paying electricity. But we are grateful to you for your expertise. Thank you very much, Mrs. Spanda, who is here representing ZESA, for the transformers and the technical guidance that has ensured that this plant is fully integrated and functional. To the Ministry of Education officials, the DSI, we are especially thankful for your support and encouragement toward the school-based projects. I know the ministry are very keen for schools to have school-based projects, and they encourage us to do that. So we are thankful for that. Our sincere thanks also goes to our parents' associations. We have two very vibrant parents' associations here, and we thank you very much for the support that you give to the group of schools. I notice also, and I see and I recognize Professor Mugumbate, Pro Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation and Industrialization from Midlands State University. Your expertise is valued here at Midlands Christian Group of Schools. And I wanted to say to you, we will be coming again, asking for more expertise as the school grows. We thank all our stakeholders for helping us in our school in the many ways that you have done.